If you have a business in the US and a branch of that business in India, and you have now won a contract to provide services to Canadians, and you are unsure if you can set up a similar business in Canada and then bring employees to Canada, the answer is yes, you absolutely can. We'll talk about how we've been able to help US Indian business become established in Canada and bring employees to Canada. Welcome back. My name is Donovan Francis, a Canadian immigration lawyer at GOOSELAW Immigration, where we help businesses bring their employees to Canada without all of the legal hassle. In this video, I want to share a quick case study on how we have been able to help an Indian American company become established in Canada and then transfer employees to Canada to support their Canadian operation. We've been able to do that under a program known as the Intra-Company Transferee Startup Program, ICT Startup. And in this particular case, this company had already had operations in the US. They're originally from India, and they won contracts in the US many years before, and they had opened a US office and had been transferring specialized and senior managerial type workers from their Indian office to the US on H-1B visas and or whatever other types of visas are allowed in the US. So that is something that they had already been doing. And then, having been established in the US, they then identified opportunities in Canada to provide services to Canadians. And so they were able to secure contracts, agreements inside Canada to provide their services. And this is a tech company. And so the next challenge then was, how do they get their Canadian business set up in such a way that they would be able to transfer these high-skilled employees to Canada, given that based on the type of proprietary tools that this business utilizes, they would not have been able to identify suitably qualified people inside Canada. And by that we mean that the business has certain software that are unique to it, that it would have developed, and that it's only its employees understand. And therefore, in order for it to successfully run its Canadian operations, it would need those employees who are familiar with its proprietary software to be physically in Canada to help get things going, right? And so we were able to provide support to that company by first guiding them on becoming established inside Canada, creating a related company inside Canada, meaning, and by related, we mean the company had to be either an affiliate or a subsidiary or a branch or a child, legally speaking, of the entity in India from which the employees were going to be sent, or from US if they were going to be transferring employees from the US to Canada, which is part of what they actually ended up doing. So they first needed to set up a company in Canada and then use it to transfer employees. In order for them to set up, though, they needed to convince the Canadian immigration authorities that this was in fact a legitimate business, a business that was going to be creating opportunities for Canadians once it became established. And so they needed to do that by, among other things, including a business plan in their ICT startup permit application. Right? And then this business plan would outline their financial situation. You know, what is their current financial situation? Will they be able to sustain the employees they'll be hiring? It would also indicate what their projections were in terms of their future hiring inside Canada and so on. And they also needed to indicate the type of employees that they wanted to send to Canada, whether it is specialized knowledge workers who are more technical people who are very familiar with the company's proprietary tool, the company's unique software, or if they were wanting to send more executive type personnel. In which case, if they were wanting to send executive type personnel, they would need to show that the company is going to be large enough to maintain them. And if they were going to be sending specialized knowledge workers, then they would have to show that those workers were going to be supervised inside Canada by a Canadian. So those are some of the things that the company had to take into consideration when they were contemplating setting up. And that is what they went through. They decided initially to send a senior managerial level worker, and so that person's work permit was approved for 1 year, because with these types of applications, the work permit is typically approved for 1 year, and then at the end of the year, the immigration authorities would do an evaluation to ascertain if the business was in fact doing what it had indicated it wanted to do in the business plan. All right, has it set itself up? Has it been able to hire Canadians? Has it been able to meet the goals that it indicated that it wanted to meet, and so on? Has it conformed to the conditions and terms of the work permit that was issued a year ago? And so those are some of the things that the authorities would be checking on at the end of the 1 year. And then, because the company was able to successfully answer these questions, they were able to get that initial work permit extended for another 2 years. And in addition, they were able to then start sending other employees to Canada to help get the Canadian operation going and get it to a point where it in turn would be able to hire multiple Canadians. All right, so this is just a case study on how we've been able to help an American Indian company get established in Canada and then bring employees in Canada that then allowed them to fulfill the terms of the contract that they had won supporting Canadian businesses from inside Canada. All right, so I trust that this was helpful in helping you to understand what your options may be if you are an employer or a business owner who does not yet have an operation inside Canada, but who may have business opportunities in Canada that will need the support of employees. All right, I trust you found value from this video. As always, remember to like our videos so others may see more videos like this. Subscribe to our channel and check us out on go.gooselaw.com. Thanks. See you again.